Phase changes. What are phase changes? A phase change is when matter changes from one state, solid, liquid, gas, plasma, to another. Phase changes in daily life. Melting ice cream, wet clothes drying under sun, dry ice transforming into gas, water vapor turning to frost during the winter. Melting. Melting or fusion is a physical process that results in the phase transition of a substance from a solid to a liquid. This occurs when the internal energy of the solid increases, typically by the application of heat or pressure, which increases the substance's temperature to the melting point. Melting. During melting, the particles in a solid gain energy and start to vibrate faster and faster, which then overcomes the intermolecular forces holding them in place. But then the particles start to move about, staying close to their neighboring particles. Particles are now in liquid state. Freezing. Freezing is a phase transition where a liquid turns into a solid when its temperature is lowered below its freezing point. In accordance with the internationally established definition, freezing means the solidification phase change of a liquid or the liquid content of a substance, usually due to cooling. Freezing. The particles in a liquid lose energy and start to move slower and slower, which then strengthens the intermolecular forces holding them. The particles get closer to each other and begin to vibrate on the spot. Particles are now in liquid state. Particles are now in solid state. Deposition. In chemistry, deposition occurs when molecules settle out of a solution. Deposition can be viewed as a reverse process to dissolution or particle re-entrainment. It is a phase change from the gaseous state to a solid without passing through the liquid state, also called resublimation. In deposition, the particles in a gas lose energy and start to move slower and slower, which then strengthens the intermolecular forces holding them. The particles get closer to each other and start to vibrate on the spot. The particles are now in solid state. Sublimation. Sublimation is the transition of a substance directly from solid to the gas state without passing through the liquid state. Sublimation. In sublimation, the particles in a solid gain energy and start to vibrate faster and faster, which then overcomes the intermolecular forces holding them. The particles now move at random and high speeds. Particles are now in gaseous state. Evaporation is the process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas or vapor. Evaporation is the primary pathway that water moves from the liquid state back into the water cycle as atmospheric water vapor. Evaporation. During evaporation, the particles in a liquid gain energy and start to move faster and faster, which then overcomes the intermolecular forces holding them. The particles now move at random and high speeds. Particles are now in gaseous state. Condensation. Condensation is the process where water vapor becomes liquid. It is the reverse of evaporation, where liquid water becomes a vapor. Condensation happens one of two ways. Either air is cooled to its dew point, or it becomes so saturated with water vapor that it cannot hold any more water. In condensation, the particles in a gas lose energy and start to move slower and slower, which then strengthens the intermolecular forces holding them. The particles get closer to each other and start to slide past each other. The particles are now in liquid state. Thank you for listening.